If you follow, if you follow the releases, from the various armed forces, task forces dealing with banditry and kidnapping, you hear daily of hordes of, kidnappers being neutralized, bandits being neutralized, abducted, victims being freed, even including cattle. So it's a daily thing. But while the abduction of 300 plus people will capture, the headlines when they're released, will capture the headlines. But when these bandits who are not even stationary in one place, when they are tracked down or neutralized, it does not attract the same amount of, attention.
I think his last comment, the last comment we listened to from the minister, it would probably, how do I put this? He seems to be maybe throwing, I wouldn't say throwing jabs, but he seems to be pointing attention at the media in terms of coverage of banditry and the security challenges. You heard him say, when bandits are neutralized or killed,
there's more to it.
There's not much coverage, like, oh, okay. But if we hear that so and so number of people were kidnapped, so and so number of people were killed, then boom, it almost always makes all the headlines and is plastered across the media everywhere. As some people would say in the media industry, bad news is good news, because it's almost like people always look forward to bad news when you pick up newspapers.
Looks like bad news sell faster than good news.
That is the problem, That is it. That's how it has always been generally, because bad news almost always is the one that people look forward to. It's almost like it's morbid, but
there's a psychological reason behind it, though.
So the minister is pointing out, he's saying, look, when we rescue people, it doesn't make the headlines, but when people are kidnapped, when people are killed, it's everywhere, and everybody is looking at it and all that. But what is the source of all of this? Why do we have an increase in banditry across the northern part of the country? He says, as a result of the fall of Gaddafi in Libya, there were so many arms that were spread across sub-Saharan Africa, and they made their way into Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and all that. We'll listen to him talk, and that's why banditry increased in the country. That's one of the reasons he gave. Listen.
I don't think the federal government, looks at bandits and kidnappers as anything but terrorists. I don't think so. And when in dealing with them, they deal with them as such. But you see, just take a step back and ask yourself, how come that we have this proliferation of arms on the entire Sahel? You see, the moment Libya disintegrated, proliferation of arms, light arms in particular, along the Sahel, be it Mali, be it Burkina Faso, be it Niger, became a phenomenon. Now, if there's no peace in Libya, there's no peace in Mali, there's no peace in Niger, there's no peace in Burkina Faso, there's no way they're going to have peace in Nigeria or anywhere along that line. And that is why Nigeria is a very active voice in this forum for advocating for non-proliferation of arms. When the borders were closed, one of the major advantages was it helped in stopping this proliferation of arms. And I think the cache that was, the cache of arms that were confiscated by the customs was quite impressive. So you see, when we talk about arms, talk about proliferation of arms, it's a global, continental, regional issue. And this is an issue that we discuss at both AU level and
the sub-regional level.
Because it's about peace.
Yes.
Well, arms proliferation. A lot of, and interestingly, it's not only Nigeria that's experiencing this. A lot of countries that are sub-Sahel, that is south of Libya, actually felt the impact of proliferation of arms from Libya after the fall of Gaddafi. And if you've been following international politics, you would know that there are literally two governments operating in Libya: the government of General Khalifa Haftar and that of the UN-recognized government. So, but we understand that both of them have agreed maybe they want to do an election, but that's out of the scope of our conversation. The point the minister is trying to make, and I'm trying to buttress, is that arms proliferation became the order of the day, after Libya disintegrated, and Nigeria suffered it as well. In the northern part of the country, other parts of sub-Saharan Africa like Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, all experienced the same thing. And so that is the point that the minister was trying to make. But these bandits who have these arms, I mean, the Nigerian government is supposed to be stronger than them. We have the military, the police, and other forces. But now we hear conversations that have to do with bandits being potentially granted amnesty. There's no way the minister would be on the seat, and this question will not be posed to him because it has been some sort of a conversation or point of controversy even among northern governors themselves. What did he say? Oh well, remember Sheikh Gumi actually went to Zamfara to discuss with the bandits. We'll also listen to Sheikh Gumi, what he said when he came back to talk to Governor Bello Matawale. But this was the minister reacting to the story on amnesty for bandits.
During this discourse, you deploy both kinetic and non-kinetic. That's only one arm of the non-kinetic. The kinetic is still going on.
No, I look at the non-kinetic now.
No, you see, again, you would not even know what terms and conditions are attached to the so-called amnesty. You wouldn't know. Like I said, the governor of a state is the one who is in situ and you understand the dynamics and takes decisions. But it would be unfair of us to criticize him without knowing why he did what he did. And I want to believe too that even the governors work together with the security forces in their own states. So it's not as straightforward as we think. Even in the US, at the height of the Al-Qaeda, at the height of the war with drug war with the Dominican Republic, they had occasions to grant amnesty to certain notorious, criminals who also had to be responsible for many deaths. So you look at the balance. So you see, I think when you look at the Sheikh Gumi's case, I was on I think TVC on Friday, and when the same question was posed, my answer is that when you are looking for an end to kidnapping, banditry, and insurgency, you don't discourage anybody who wants to engage the bandits or the kidnappers, because sometimes even in the middle of serious wars, some intermediaries, that will go as that will act as go between the two parties. But at the end of the day, Gumi doesn't have the power to grant amnesty. He would bring his report back to government. Government will look at it and take decisions as it may seem it may deem fit. But if I remember correctly, yesterday, I think even the governor of Kaduna State, he made some comments in this regard. So let's wait. We will not discourage anybody that thinks they can talk to insurgents.
So
we will not discourage anybody that thinks he or she can talk to insurgents. So if you know any of the insurgents and you want to talk to them on behalf of the government, the minister is saying, we won't discourage you. You go, discuss, come back to us with your report. You want to take up that offer?
I would not.
Okay. I would be surprised if you did, actually, because I know you don't know anybody. Okay. All right. Remember the mention.
Knowing anybody might not be a problem. You just need information to know someone.
Would you be bold enough to go to the forest?
That's what I'm saying. That's where the problem is. I would not be bold enough to go have one-on-one conversation with bandits. Are you trying to preach to them to give up arms? Or?
Yeah, well, one man who has gone to preach to them to give up arms is Sheikh Gumi, an Islamic scholar that's very influential in the northern part of the country.
I saw that video.
You saw his videos went viral where he was sitting down with the bandits in Zamfara. Now he came back and he met with the governor of Zamfara State. I think that was day before yesterday. And these were some of the he said the bandits are willing to lay down their arms, surrender, and negotiate. And while he was talking to the governor, okay, here's a snippet of the conversation with the governor. Of course, the minister referenced Sheikh Gumi, and this is what Sheikh Gumi had to say.
To investigate and see with our own eyes, not to depend on hearsays or what the armchair critics say about what is happening. So we are able to go and meet some of the militants and listen to their grievances. And we understand that they have a lot of grievances which could be addressed, and they are ready to lay down their arms. This is the easiest, the safest way to tackle the insecurity that has permeated the region now. Contrary to those who think that there should not be any negotiation with bandits, I don't know who said that. I don't know who said there is no negotiation. There is negotiation and there has been negotiation. And nobody can tell any Nigerian about this, because we have seen in the previous regime where they have negotiation with Niger militants, Niger Delta militants, in which now they have a ministry, they have a commission to look at their development. So many of them were taking on scholarships to study, and they selected peace after that negotiation. So the same thing, if you apply the same formula, the same psychology, and the same ideology, the same thing, we will have peace. We have hope, we have peace in the autonomous areas in the United States. So we don't want armchair critics to be criticizing what we have done. What we have done it with our own conviction. We are not pressed by any political, religious, or any other affiliation, but seeking peace and the pleasure of our Creator, which is Allah. And that's why we came in here and undertaking this. I thank all the people who heard in my entourage. I thank the people of what do you call it? The people of Zamfara for the hospitality we have seen, and the government, especially the government itself. I am in full support of what the government is doing in negotiating with these citizens that are misled. I call them misled citizens. I've spoken with them face to face, and they are ready to lay down their arms if their conditions are fulfilled. And I find all the conditions they gave as justifiable, because they don't want to be lynched when they come into our market. They don't want to be profiled just because he's buying a new bicycle, what do you call it, the police will motorcycle, the police will arrest them. This is their complaints, so basic. They want amenities, they want schools, they want hospitals. So I see that peace with Allah's wish is very, very close, and that I hope Nigerians will all cooperate together. We should come together so that we have everlasting peace in this region. Thank you very much. Okay, we were able to visit 2 bandit camps, but as of how many of them, I didn't conduct any census there, but there are many. And we hope. I've tried to contact with some as I'm coming back from Gumi. They are ready to also surrender their weapons. So we will also hear the governor is talking about by Tuesday we have another contingent of militants that are ready to submit their weapons. This is a laudable effort. We have to thank it, and this is the only way. We also call on other governors to emulate what is happening in the Zamfara state.
So this conversation, that was Sheikh Gumi speaking there. I must point out that press conference was happening in the Zamfara State Government House, with the governor of Zamfara State and some of the commissioners as well. So, yeah, just so you know the position of the cleric, and the governor of Zamfara State is also talking about, granting amnesty to some of these bandits so that they stop their activities. But the governor of Kaduna State made his comments saying nope, he would never ever accept bandits or accept the concept of amnesty for bandits. And the Minister of Information reacted to those comments. Listen.
The problem, the nature of these problems differ from state to state. So you can't have a one-fit-all, a one-cap-fit-all solution. But I always respect the views of governors because they are the ones in situ. And the federal government does a lot to respect their views. As to whether there should be a uniform approach or not, I think it depends on what the situation is in your state. In some states, it's banditry. In some, it is cultism. In some, it is pipeline vandalism. In some, it's religious extremism.
He was referring to the Northwest, which is banditry.
So, even Northwest, the situation in Kaduna might not be exactly the same in Zamfara. And if, like I said, I respect their views, and he is the man in situ. But whether a solution will be applicable to all will depend on what the other governors will decide. And I think they have a forum where they meet regularly to discuss on matters of security.
And yes, they do have a forum, the Northern Governors Forum. They met yesterday and they said, no, we will not accept, no to open grazing. That was like music to the ears of a lot of people. So the Northern Governors are now trying to work on a way to have ranches or pastoral areas for herdsmen where they can take care of their cattle without necessarily moving around in a nomadic manner from one place to the other. That was part of the statement they put out yesterday. Okay. But what about the Southwest? In the southwestern part of the country, remember Sunday Igboho and the Southwest saga with the threats or the eviction notice to herdsmen? Well, yeah.
Approach to the issue of
the Southwest this
Southwest
time
in particular is that we should all please lower the temperature and the tension. I'm glad that the various authorities, traditional rulers, the political leaders, social leaders are finding an amicable solution to this. We will live together with one another. We've been doing so for many years, and we shall continue to do so. That will be conflicts that will be lived. But what we should do is how do we get lasting solution? Because even in the course of the interaction between the various parties, they've been able to agree at certain significant, positions. And I think that's what the direction should be. How do we ensure that the Fulani, the Yoruba, the Igbos live together? And you see, don't forget, this is not the first time we're witnessing at times even intra-racial conflicts. Back in the 1990s in Southern Kaduna, we had the same problem. But you see, it is the dexterity and maturity with which the leaders manage this that is very important. This is why I want to salute the courage of all our governors, all our leaders, that they are trying to contain this thing, and they are going to not allow it to get to a level that it becomes another threat, because another security challenge.
But
okay, so that was the Honorable Minister there addressing insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, and what have you. So, what about other things in the country? Remember, he's the state of the nation. What about the fight against corruption? Remember, he was the one who put out a statement challenging Transparency International's ranking of Nigeria as the second most corrupt country in West Africa. Did he address that? Yes, he did.
But, I issued that statement and I said that the recent low ranking by the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index does not actually reflect the giant strides the government has been taking in fighting corruption. This is because when you look at the steps the federal government is taking, which is concentrating largely on corruption prevention and also building an integrity system. We decided to do this because we realized that it's easier to put in place measures to prevent corruption rather than fighting corruption after it has happened. And why did we embark on this? Because we look at 2019 TI rating of Nigeria and realized that we were scored very low around the area of ease of doing business. We were scored low because there was no transparency and no accountability in the area of doing business. So the Presidential Enabling Business Council took it on itself to undertake certain reforms around the area of doing business, because that alone accounted for almost 40% of our scoring. That is why we initiated reforms at the ports. But our ports are actually one area where we have a major problem. So the council started initiating reforms at the port, and today we have what is called the Nigerian Port Process, manual, which would tell you, which has actually spelled out what kind of reforms are necessary there.
Oh, well, so you can see the minister addressed so many things, so many issues, and we just thought to make sure that we bring it to your notice so you know the official government position on so many issues. And the last one, but not the least, is the issue of the rail line to Maradi in Niger Republic, the one that passes through Kano, Katsina, and of course Jigawa State. So much controversy, so many conspiracy theories, if you like, about why we should be building a rail line into Niger Republic. But what is the government position? Here it is.
Mama, you see, first of all, this project was approved in 2012. And then what we call a first business case was presented to then council. Katsina Maradi rail project was viable. Ever before we came in. Now, when we came in, we said we were going to ensure that every state capital is linked by rail. So we started with the Lagos-Ibadan double track standard gauge. Then we awarded the Ibadan Kaduna Kano. And this is now the Kano Katsina Maradi. Now, what is important about the Kano Katsina Maradi is that it not only provides easy conveyance of goods and services across those three states that benefit, that is Jigawa, Kano, and Katsina. But also, we extended about 25 kilometers into Maradi because we found out that because of the unfavorable business conditions in Nigeria, most coastal states such as Benin Republic, Togo, and Accra were taking undue advantage of cargo and services coming into and going from landlocked states like, say, Niger, like Burkina Faso and Co. And so we said that, look, if we extend the rail line by 25 kilometers into Maradi. Then we will take advantage of the export and import in Niger, because it means then that the people of Niger were able to put their goods on the train to our ports in Nigeria. And they can also import through our ports in Nigeria, knowing that they do not need to pay, they do not to go through any orders. Transporting them by train is cheaper and is safer. This is the only reason why we're extending to Maradi. And don't forget that this is actually an ECOWAS rail system. It's not a Nigerian rail system. It's an ECOWAS rail system. To think of any other reason apart from that, I think it's very uncharitable. Again, we look at the corridor of Katsina, Jigawa and Kaduna, and we look at the agricultural produce in those areas. And the fact that the moment that joins the Lagos-Kano rail, it means then that you have seamless, transportation of service and goods, from the north to the south. If anybody thinks of any other alternative, I think it's quite uncharitable.
Yes, there you have it from Honorable Lai Mohammed, the Minister for Information in Nigeria. Address so many issues. We'll let you in on the conversation.
All right, the numbers that you can call 0706 263 9275, 0903 939 4427, and 0812 178 9154, or send a message to 0807 400 9076.
Okay, let's start with this one.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Pastor Robert, I'm calling from the area.
You're welcome, Pastor.
I think hypocrisy, greed, covetousness, and personal and party interest has overtaken lots of our plans. That is why today now the dividend of democracy is not to the people. It's to those who are in power and their cabals. So it's my prayer that God of restoration will restore me and my family and the entire families of Nigerians, that they will put the fear of God first. Look at this issue of banditry and all these herdsmen and others. It's not clash. I thank God for what the governor of Kano State has said, that they should limit their cattle hearing to their own area. That those who want them will go there and purchase. Look at Ugolo from my own local government, where women were killed and raped. Look at what is happening in our here now. A dead body was passing through and they were kidnapped into the bush. Look at everywhere. This issue of insurgency and all. It's unfortunate that all that the present government promised the people, they are failed in delivering the dividend of democracy. It's my prayer that God will change our attitude and have a retrogression to think what is good for the people. Thank you. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor Robert, and God bless you too. Okay, says everybody should have a rethink. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
This is Barrister Edgar from Benin.
All right, Barrister, welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I listened to Lai Mohammed. Everything the man was saying, everybody can see that there is high level of hypocrisy from this particular government. How can today this same government is still making reference to 2015 as to what has happened, comparing it to this government, when everybody knew that today the security situation in this country has overwhelmed everything that they are doing? Who are they deceiving? Did they call Nigerians to be fools that we don't see, that we don't hear, and we don't know, and we don't appreciate? In fact, it's unfortunate. This is a government of hypocrisy. It is very, very unfortunate that they could be coming out and still be comparing security situation today to security situation in 2015. Why did they come into office in the first instance? Did they not tell us that they are going to improve the situation? What have they improved? They are talking about reforms. How many reforms have they put out that is effective? We are talking of effectiveness. It's not a question of introducing reforms. You have introduced reforms. How many of them are effective? for us, for the good people of Nigeria. That's what we are talking about.
All right, Barrister.
It's not a question of introducing reforms. So these are the issues I have problems with the government. Thank you very much.
Strong words there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
This is JB Dennis calling for Benin.
All right, JB Dennis, go ahead, please.
Yeah. The statement of the Land Moab concerning that railway construction to Niger. They say that it will both economic in Nigeria. Let us see RT road, which they abandoned for many years. Those who cannot both economic in Nigeria. Look at Abraka Road everywhere. Now, look at the half who are saying that are killing people. There's no fast solution to all those things. He's coming up to come and tell us that when they do that,
hold on, wait now.
Yeah.
You do know he addressed many issues. The railway was one of the issues he addressed.
Those are the one of them I'm also addressing.
All right, thank you, JB.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's just the thing. So let those abandoned road projects all over federal road, all over the nation that is not motorable. Let them go and repair all those ones because they will take up any debt. That's just my condition.
Okay. I think you must have missed where the minister said it's not a Nigerian rail project, it's an ECOWAS rail project. Let's check out some of the messages here. This one says, good morning, KUFM. You can see that somehow the government is encouraging banditry by negotiating with them, and also the bandits are complying with are comparing with the Niger Delta militants in the Niger Delta that were fighting for development in the region. And goes on to say, I'm in support with the Kaduna State government from Gilbert, presently at Abuja quarters. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yeah, Austin calling from Warri.
Austin from Warri. All right, Austin, welcome.
Yeah, I think I want to say something. We don't solve any problem, any issue with emotion. If you want to happen to realize in this country, we are too emotional in anything. And sometimes when we just develop hatred for one particular person, no matter what he does, we just see it as nothing. I think it will not help us, because I carefully listened to when you played the video, the audio clip of the Honorable Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed. And he talks about so many issues. And concerning the railway, it was now that I know that it is not even a Nigerian project, it's ECOWAS project. So why are we crying to high heaven for God's sake? We should be very, very careful when we stay in this country, because the way we are in this country, the country is so divided. Even a day better we are. Can we say we are united? No. I'm from Benin. Isa is in Benin. Afema is in Benin. Are we united? So we should preach things that will unite us rather than things that will continue to divide us. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you and God bless you too. Thank you very much for that comment. You need to preach unity instead of division. Okay, this message says, good morning, Adams is my name. Okay, Adams. This one. Okay, let's see if I have any other message here. Last call, 30 seconds. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Morning to you.
This Pastor Joseph.
All right, Pastor, you're the last caller, so you have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay. This ECOWAS project,
yes,
for the railway, is it ECOWAS that is paying for the money?
Pastor, the government have told you that it's an ECOWAS project. Now, if you have contrary information and you are sure about it, you bring it to the fore. If you're not sure, if you know that the government is not the one paying, you tell us that no, you have information to show that the government is not paying. Do you have that information? I
don't have. If I'm asking you, because I don't know if it is ECOWAS that is paying the money.
But you heard the minister say it's not even a Nigerian railway project. Okay. It's an ECOWAS project.
God bless you, Mr. Itan. What's wrong if they can take railway land from Lagos to Benin? Let me refresh your. Pastor, listen. Let me refresh your memory. He said when they came in, the plan is to make sure that all state capitals are linked by rail. Maybe you missed that part when he was talking, but he actually said it, and that the process has already started. I do know that Lagos already has a rail line. I know maybe Benin does not have one yet, but there is one in Itakpe
Okay, so he said that.
That railway at the time you are talking about is for good. So
Okay, so we're out of time already. It's a minute. Okay, I think the penultimate caller before the last caller was the one who made the point. He said people react very emotionally to so many things. This is how we end this morning's edition of the program. My name is Charles Oporum.
I am Goslov Orlando. Good morning.
Join the conversation on KUFM's Dialogue as we introduce written voices. You can now keep the conversation going beyond 10 a.m. Send us your views on topical or burning issues of the moment, news, current affairs, or social-political issues that you may wish to share your thoughts on. It must be civil, factual, straight to the point, and in not more than 150 words, and we will give it a voice. Send your views to kufmdialogue@gmail.com or via our WhatsApp platform on 0807 552 7556. Keep the conversation going. Dialogue. Your voice counts.
From Benin City to the world.
This is 92.7 KUFM News Update.
It's 10 a.m. Good morning. Welcome to KUFM's News Update. I am Godslov Orlando. Edo State government is planning to embark on a joint security operation to flush out criminal elements in some forests in Orionwa and Ovia Northeast local government areas where suspected armed herders have continued to attack farmers. The state governor, Godwin Obaseki, was speaking after listening to farmers' complaints of attacks and killings which have affected their farming activities in Ugonyeke, Orionwa local government and Odigi community in Ovia Northeast local government areas. The governor's visit to these communities is part of his fact-finding mission. The immediate past national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Comrade Adams Oshomole, has faulted the ongoing membership revalidation exercise called by the Interim Caretaker Committee. Oshomole said it is contrary to the party's constitution. The former two-time governor of Edo State spoke on Tuesday while fielding